Drake signs a massive deal with Universal Music Group. They're claiming it's $400 million. Now, everybody's super impressed by this number, but the real question you should be asking is, how much is Universal Music Group making off of Drake? Now, DJ Academic did a video a while ago, and it was talking about how Drake, if he owned all his masters, if he owned everything, that he would be worth over $1 billion. He calculated the earnings, or estimated the calculations of the earnings of one song, which is One Dance, and which has like a 2 billion streams or something crazy. And off of that one song, Drake would have made about $50 million just off of that one song. Streaming, publishing, all of that stuff. And you put that into perspective, and it's like, he has so many other songs that are that big, are that massive. But why is he signing to these record labels? I've heard some rumors, and some publications have suggested that he probably will own his masters moving forward, which would be the best thing for him to do. I think right now with Drake, these music labels have to come into it in a partnership deal. It's in a way the best move for him. And I imagine by now he's heard all the chatter online about ownership and owning your masters and all this stuff. He probably has the smartest people that come to him and say, do not sign this deal. When you look at people like Russ, who have built a career for themselves independently, Drake is somebody that has a lot of clout. So it makes absolutely no sense for him to go into this with a predatory deal. And so it only makes sense that he would own his masters moving forward. And even maybe if they gave him the opportunity to take back his masters, ownership of his other masters. But I think if I were Drake, how would I approach it? Because at the end of the day, look, a record label is a machine. Building that on your own would take a lot of effort. So if you could utilize that machine, why not? You could utilize that machine, but also still retain ownership of your masters. Why the hell not? And at this rate, the labels just need Drake. They need him for a few reasons. That's why they're not going to let him go. They'll let him name whatever price that he can, whatever your price, will pay it. They can't afford to let Drake go, because if Drake goes, Drake is the biggest musician right now. And if he leaves and becomes independent, that becomes symbolism. Now, every rapper, every musician, everybody else is going to want to go independent. So their careers, their livelihood is based on Drake staying in this record deal. So that's why they can give him whatever he asks for. If he says, look, I'm going to retain ownership of my masters, I'm going to retain ownership of everything moving forward, give me $40 million up front, and perhaps we go on a 50-50 split, probably something similar to what Russ did with the labels. 50-50 split. I can pull out anytime I want if you guys are not acting right. If he structures his deal like that, they have no choice. They have to keep him. They have to say, yes, sir, please. Because if Drake leaves, every other rapper will start structuring deals that, makes them want to leave. And also because of Drake's level of popularity, people that are asleep and don't even realize the business that's going on, people that have been exploited and are still being exploited today, they will remain asleep. But once Drake the Giant wakes up and leaves, everybody's going to wake up. And so these labels, they probably said, whatever your price is, Drake, we will give it to you. Whatever your price. So $400 million, it sounds like a good deal for if the deal is not predatory, if he owns his masters, and if they gave him some sort of partnership in being able to buy his other original masters. If they did that, great. Why not? That's the only circumstance that it would even make sense. But let's say they still have ownership of his masters. Hypothetically, we don't know. But let's say they still have ownership. Well, that would be really stupid. If they said, hey, Drake, here's $400 million. We're going to take ownership of your masters. That would be so dumb, because he's worth way more than that. his music probably generates billions of dollars, not just from streaming. Streaming is just like a small portion. Just even like licensing. When people play Drake songs in movies, in commercials, in whatever it is, think about all the revenue that's coming out of that, the royalties. There's so many ways that these songs are syndicated through society. The publishing, every time that it's played in an establishment, he gets a check from that. You see, there's so many ways. And so it doesn't make sense for him to even give up his masters moving forward. And if I were him, I would have asked for, some sort of deal where, look, I retain all my masters moving forward, and you give me the opportunity to buy back all my previous masters. That's the kind of deal that would be the only way that I would agree to move forward with a record deal, right? If I was Drake. But let's remember, Drake is special. He's unique. He's the biggest artist out right now. So other people just shouldn't compare themselves to him when they're thinking about record label structured deals. All these other people just need to figure out how to retain ownership of their masters and be willing to walk away. Be willing to walk away from all of these labels, because honestly, in this new era, you really don't need them. And even Drake, I still think Drake would make so much more money if he owned all his stuff. I just don't think that he has the drive or the manpower to build the systems for him to do that. Also because there is a possibility that he might not have the right formula to push his music for it to be as successful as he needs it to be. He might just not have the team that's able to do that, or not even know how to do that, because the label is a machine, it's a vehicle, and they're already in place. So his thinking is, why not use them? Why should I start from scratch? It could sort of dent my career. Why would I want to potentially dent my career? But that's a choice as an entrepreneur to say, look, I have faith in myself. I'm going to build this myself. And maybe he just doesn't want to have to go through the hassle. But I think every musician moving forward should really look at building their career individually. Anyway, this is a part 2 or an addition to the video that I made about record labels, record deals, and why it's not important right now. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and see you next time. Peace.